Hello, I'm Marissa. Welcome to my channel. I'm a mum, homeschool mum of 4 children, adopted children, and so we spend a lot of time at home. I'm also a Christian writer, and my first book has been published for about a year now. I love writing in the garden when it's sunny, which is not very often, and my favourite drink is coffee. So do join me and learn more about us.
Hello and welcome. So this week, I want to talk about life story books. Um, it's a bit like a baby album. We had one, mine was bright green, born in the 70s, so there we are. And we used to love just looking through the photographs, seeing ourselves as a baby, first hair, all that sort of thing. Our children obviously didn't have that. Now, what a lot of social workers do provide is a life story book. And it documents a child's life before going into care and before being adopted. So sometimes it will include information from being in the birth families. It might even include some baby pictures. But a lot of children are not fortunate enough for that. There is a problem with those books. I think there is a problem with those books. And I've talked to other adopters about it. It's not just me being fussy. Um, we'd been given those books at handover when we adopted our children, and when we brought the children home. It was an inappropriate time. That's like a whole matter in itself. And I hadn't really looked at the books. Now, recently I flicked through them and thought, what am I supposed to do with this? Then the kids watched Annie, the musical. Not good news. It led to some very odd questions and strange behaviours. We're a bit over that now, so that's good. So I realised that we really needed to have more information. So I dug out these life story books and we read through them. And I realised then that there was big problems with them. Now, I talked to other adopters and other foster carers, and based on that, I wrote this blog on my website. It's a big problem because often it's the only thing that children have. Now, I have a few problems with it. One of the problem is the book is not very extensive. Okay, it's quite limited, and it's very, very positive. It's nice to be positive, I get that, but these children are adopted. Their life was not a positive life. So, they weren't just adopted for fun. And I wasn't there when it happened. I had nothing to do with it. I did not remove them. I didn't even know them before they were brought across to us. So, but I'm the one having to interpret the book. So the book uses a lot of word, and I'm talking like across the spectrum, not just my children. Those books use very happy language, like your parents loved you very much. They were very happy to see you. They had a lovely time playing with you at the contact center. They laughed whenever you played. They were very happy. It might be true, but it's only a tiny, tiny part of the story, isn't it? Because a lot of those parents, obviously they're dealing with grief and shock horror, but also often with the issues that led to the adoption or to the fostering in the first place. So very often they don't come to the contact center. Some parents come to the contact center stoned or drunk. Some of them get very aggressive. And very often they're just not there at all. And the book tells you a completely different picture, because there are all the photographs taken by social workers with children sitting with the birth parents, everyone smiling, because obviously the social worker's gone, say cheese. So everyone says cheese and they're all smiley. But that's just a fraction. It doesn't say, well, 9 times out of 10 they just couldn't make it. It doesn't mention any of the negative things. It sounds like they spent their every free moment with the children, and it wasn't true. So that's not helpful. It doesn't paint a realistic picture. And it's not very helpful because most of us have, something that we explain to the children from when they're very small. So often it's like you weren't safe in the birth family, so you had to be taken into care. But here they are all sitting, one happy family. I'm sitting on their laps, I'm eating ice cream, and we're all smiling, we're all, happy as Larry. What do you mean not safe? I'm clearly safe. I mean, I'm eating ice cream. That's very safe. So it's very hard because now I have to say, well, that was just one picture of one afternoon when they did make it, or when they weren't passed out, or when they weren't drunk, or when they weren't locked up, or, who knows. And as adopters, we now have to explain those happy pictures away. So we're stealing their joy because they go like, well, obviously I had a wonderful life. And that's really sad because that should not be up to us to restore that picture. And it feels like a lie, I mean, the book, so it's like black on white and it's in photographs. The book says what this, but you're telling me. So who can be wrong? Well, it can't be the book that's wrong, can it? So books are never wrong. I'm a writer, so I know books are never wrong. But that's really hard because it causes a lot of confusion and a lot of anger. So that's one of the good things for our book, is that it was laminated. That's a good thought, because sometimes there'll be a lot of rage and the books get ripped off, and some of those photographs are irreplaceable. So that's a good hint, is laminate them before handing them out. But it's very one-sided, so I didn't like that. Now, what I did hear from someone was they recommend, like the psychologist attached to the agency that we went with, he recommended doing a bit about like now, the here and now, where we are as a family, then about the birth family and foster care, and then back to the here and now. So you ground it. So yes, there's this middle of really awful experiences, but it's grounded in the here and now and the safe. So I really like that. And looking through the books with my children, I wished I had done that. I should have probably just like scanned the photographs, or taken pictures of it and made my own thing. So one person came back to me very nicely. I like it. I like to hear. And she said that they'd been given a file, like a computer file. And I was like, that makes so much sense, because they have a file on their computers, haven't they? Because obviously they've made the book. It's all been like typed and printed and whatnot. So why can't they send this file across to the adopters? Because, I mean, if you want to make a book, that's fine. It's quite nice probably as well. But then it gives you, as an adopter, it gives you the option to make an age-appropriate book, because up till now we've never had any questions. I mean, we talked about it. It's not been ignored, but the children haven't had any extra questions until Annie. So now we had questions and we've dealt with them, and now more keep coming up. So that's good. The conversation has been well and truly opened. But I would have liked a more age-appropriate book. So an electronic file sounds just such a good idea, because you can make these photo books nowadays, and if it does get ripped up, I mean, they have like ISBN numbers, you could order a new copy. Also, you could update the books, like say every 5 years, make it more age appropriate, or make it more relevant to the here and now, so you can update the front and back matter things. So I just think, I mean, it must be such a small matter, or maybe I'm being very naive, but I mean, I know that a lot of, social workers are very busy. A lot of them do not choose to work with children. It's not their thing. But they do make these books. And I think the thing is that, the children have come into care. They've had a dreadful experience. No matter how or why they came into foster care, it's never good, is it? It's never good. So they've been through the worst thing you could imagine. So surely the least thing they deserve is truthfulness and showing respect, because by saying, oh, everyone is so happy and oh, you love doing this, that and the other. Yeah, that is not very respectful. You're denying the truth. You know, you're not sharing the truth with them. Our psychologist from our agency, he actually suggested that it really could do with some like real pictures, like truthful pictures. And I know it's really hard. I mean, I mentioned it in a blog, but you know, like you can't really include pictures of like a drug den, can you? Or a picture with vodka bottles on the floor. It would be really painful. It would be very hard. It would be harsh. It would be very upsetting, really upsetting. But in a way, it would be more truthful. So even if you made like an extra page, especially for the parents, where you could give more age appropriate information, it's just really hard because this just doesn't feel fair. And we're not given much information. I mean, we know a little bit, so we share that. But again, it's like coming from us. And I feel that that's not helpful because I don't know. I was not there. I have no proof. I have nothing to back me up in a way. So if the social workers had made an appropriate book or a truthful book, that would just be really helpful and it would be respectful to the children. So that's my thing about life story books, because they're so important, because they fill in the gaps, and I don't have to fill in the gaps. I can just give this book and say, this is why you're here. This is what happened, how it happened, who you were when you were little. And we all love seeing our baby pictures when we were small. It's just nice. It's our roots. It's where you're from. It's important. But it needs to be truthful and respectful, age appropriate, but also cover things in a proper way. And I understand they're busy, but then there should be other options, like an electronic file, or I don't know, like the family finder. I don't know. There should be a way forward in this. I think it's important. So I wrote a blog about that, and I would love to hear from you. So sign up for my newsletter, and not just because I love blabbing at you and writing to you, I do, but I like to hear from you, and I love sharing codes and things with you. So often in the newsletter there are discounts and extras and things like that. So do sign up. Saturday the 5th of December, my new book is coming out called Walled City. So I'm excited about that. So if you're watching this on replay, do have a look at that. I will also upload the launch party, obviously. But do contact me. Go to my website at vicariousHome.com and let me know. Or even here on YouTube, down in the comments, let me know what you think. Let me know your experiences or things that you've heard. I just love the one lady commenting about the electronic file. I thought that was a great point. So I would love to hear more ideas and tips. So do message me, and have a wonderful evening. And thank you for listening in. Subscribe and go to the website to sign up for the email. But no, seriously, do stay in touch and let me know. Every blessing.